And I want to welcome you back to the Owatonna Coaches Show. Again, you can find the Coaches Show on local cable channels 8, channel 20 here in Owatonna, blip.tv on the internet, OwatonnaWrestling.com, OwatonnaHockey.com, or YouthFirst.com, and you can search the Facebook pages for any of those for our YouTube clips of the Coaches Show. Tonight we're doing a wrestling segment with Coach Seykora and a couple of our wrestlers. We want to thank our wrestling sponsors right up front: Alexander Lumber, Coles Electric, Federated Insurance, Hometown Credit Union, Hy-Vee, Jostens, Carafo Radio, Lindgren Photo and Frame, the Owatonna Chiropractic Association, Owatonna Bus Cavalier Coaches, Pearson, Pizza Ranch, Prairie Ridge Orthodontics, Sign Pro, Stockwell Accounting, the Colonel Restaurant, Triumph Graphics, and Truth Hardware for their support of the Owatonna Wrestling Program as well as the Coaches Show. And the Wrestling Show is brought to you by the OWA, our Wrestling Association, and Youth First. My name is Mark Arjes, and we've got Coach Scott Seykora here tonight.
Thanks. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, good. Well, glad you're here. This is good. So, well, I know, we've talked a lot about Coach Castile about all the varsity stuff, and I know there's a big varsity meet coming up Saturday, of course, at Albert Lee, right? So.
Yes.
I'm sure that'll be a focus. Should be a big night, huh?
Yeah, it will be a big night, and it does start with JV too, because they kind of carry a lot of momentum in those meets, and hopefully we can get a good start there as well. So.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to bring the junior high down and even start earlier than that,
yes,
so we'll try to get them wound up. So that'll be interesting to see.
It'll be a fun day of wrestling.
Well, it's fun, you get the young kids out there. Yeah. So anyway, so those of you watching, it is Saturday night. It is at Albert Lee, so if you get a chance, you want to see one of the great wrestling rivalries in southern Minnesota. Doesn't get any better than the Tigers and the Huskies.
Yeah,
so
it's a good one.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the JV season. I know you've had a lot going on. We're into it a long ways, and we're coming up hosting the Big 9 JV tournament here before too long. So how's the JV season been?
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of wrestling and a lot of wrestlers getting some experience, just kind of looking over some of our stats here. And we got over 18 guys that have 10 wins already. Overall we have close to 500 matches on JV right now.
Really?
So that's a lot of wrestling. We have. It looks like we have close to about 25 to 30 kids that have participated in some of the JV events. Okay. We're 9-2 on JV this year as teams. We lost to Simley the very first meet of the year, and then we went to the Tough Anoka duels. They have it during the Christmas tournament for individuals, and all the top teams in the state send their JVs there. And we end up losing to St. Michael in the finals. It was a good duel, it was a one-match difference there, one match go a different way, and we could have had that one, but, overall we're having a pretty good season.
Good. So have you got a couple of individuals that maybe stand out a little bit that maybe have done, really well? Who's hot,
Sure.
as far as JV wrestlers are concerned?
Right now, Blake Goodwin is 22-0, so he's probably our hottest wrestler on JV right now.
Doesn't get much hotter than 22-0.
No, 22-0, and he's got 10 pins with that, and Omar Gutierrez is not far behind. He's got 17 wins, and 16 of those are by pin, so he's a pinning machine there.
Wow.
So he's doing pretty good. And also Jathan Detmer has 18 wins, and Sam Noldner has 16. So those guys are kind of topping our lineup right now as far as wins.
Yeah. It's interesting being in the room a little bit here off and on, too. The work ethic of all those names you just read is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, those guys work pretty hard. They come to the extra things that we have, and they work hard in the room, and they're asking questions. They're, hey, how can I get better? Or I'm having a problem with this move, and they're seeking that extra help. And and they come to all the tournaments. We have individual tournaments almost every Saturday. Besides that one Saturday where we had the dual tournament, and those guys are always there. They're showing up. They're getting that extra mat time. I know a lot of those guys would like to see some more varsity time, but our varsity's got a pretty tough lineup, and there's not a lot of spots to get some opportunity there. So I know they have had some experience on varsity this year, but they're getting a lot of their mat time with me.
Cool. And the other thing about I know one of the things that Coach Castile talks about too is he's always trying to point out who's improving, who's getting better, and I'm sure you've seen probably several guys from first day of practice now to today where who are the ones that maybe you've seen the most improvement.
Well, it's kind of cool because I can say that everyone's shown improvement. I look at from where they've started off as far as some of their technique and just some of their strengths, and they're showing some improvement somewhere along the line here and there. I look at Blake Goodwin. We talked about him as being 22-0, and that kid never stops moving. That's one thing from last year to this year. He's pretty focused when he goes out on the mat. He's taking advantage of opportunities. And like I said, he never stops moving. That's kind of the biggest improvement I've seen in him. Sam is getting a little better with Noldner, getting a little better with his positional. You know, he's a big, strong kid. You know, he goes out, he's got that intimidation factor. You know, he comes out at 195. You know, and his biceps are huge.
Yeah.
You know, and so he's working on his balance and just his positioning on the feet a little bit more. So he's showing some improvement there.
Cool. So you have what as far as coaching goes for the JV? What's your goal now for the rest of the season then, based on where you're at now?
Well, we want to keep the participation. You know, I know it's tough once you get into January, and some of the kids kind of see the end of the season in mind. You know, January is a tough grind for these kids, and you know, my goal is to get some of these guys to realize, hey, you know, maybe I can be a section alternate, or maybe I can break that varsity lineup by the end of the year, and we got a couple guys that may have that opportunity. So, you know, it's kind of just keeping them focused and keeping their head in the game, and keep giving them as much opportunity as we can.
Cool. So it sounds like that probably is the same mentality then that translates into, you know, the varsity piece of it. It's like, you know, it just helps having JV guys with that kind of outlook really helps push the guys that are in the front lines right now.
Oh, definitely. You know, you get those guys to work harder in the room and try to take advantage of their opportunities, and it's going to push those varsity guys too. And, you know, it's all a domino effect. If you got, you know, some guys that are putting in the extra time and working hard, it's like, hey, I see him doing it, I better work harder too to keep my spot type thing. And, you know, and we ask, hey, it's a team thing. You know, whether you're on that varsity starting team or not, you know, you serve a purpose to Owatonna Wrestling, and if it's just working hard in the room and being a good practice partner, or if it's being someone that can go out and get some wins and fill in some spots for us when we have a varsity guy out, you know, everybody has a purpose here.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. We're going to get a chance to talk to a couple of our senior wrestlers here, which I'm excited about. But, you know, best of luck the rest of the year with the JV, and we'll probably catch up down the road and get another update from you. So,
all right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We'll be right back. And we're back with a couple of our senior wrestlers, Justin Flores on my left and Kaden Cloud on my right. So we're pretty excited to talk to you guys today. How are we doing today?
I'm doing good. Besides, I'm tired.
You're
from
tired?
Practice.
After practice, yeah?
Yeah, I'm tired now.
I heard it was a little tough tonight, so that's good. You know, we're into January. Big Albert Lee duel coming up for the Big Nine title here on Saturday, the way it looks. And then pushing into section time. So, Justin, tell us a little bit about kind of what your preparation's like mentally and physically right now.
It's mainly mentally because I started off the season and I wasn't all in there mentally, and I know how big that actually is now. Being more confident when you go out there and wrestling like you're going to win against anyone you wrestle.
It is a big mental sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you came off, I should mention, so you were kind of in a position where you're coming off the football season, so being with the football team, you got a little bit of a late start, right? Did you find that changed your outlook this year a little bit to start with?
Yeah, I was really out of shape, and I knew that coming in, and I knew that for the first couple of weeks, and then just clicked that I got back in shape and started wrestling a little bit better.
Yeah, it seemed like around the Christmas term was when things really started to go well for you.
Yeah. I lost a tough one, and that really kind of changed how I thought mentally and changed it around then.
Good, good. So, Kaden, did you do a fall sport?
Yeah, I ran cross country.
So that's a little bit different. How did you find that was coming off cross country, coming into wrestling?
Wrestling's cross country, but it did get me in shape. More than football would, I imagine. So
Ooh.
I was ready to go.
You're ready to go? Okay, but it is different, isn't it, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, so again, as a senior right now, and I know you're a big team guy,
Yep.
you know, what's your mental and physical preparation right now to kind of make this final push?
Well, I mean, just try and wrestle to win, like the coaches always tell us. And, I mean, wrestling up a weight class occasionally, I try not to, like, let myself think that I'm at a disadvantage. I just go out there and don't be intimidated by guys that are bigger than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been doing that, moving around a little bit, filling in where they needed some help?
Yeah, I guess so. And I don't know, it's gone okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So what's the goal for the rest of the season for you, Justin?
For me, I want to actually go to the state tournament, maybe place, be on the wall over there, and, you know, I got to work hard to do it, so
Good.
still got a lot of time.
Good.
For me, I just want to do everything I can to help our team get to the state tournament, and I don't know, I just really want to see us get there.
Yeah. And there's a lot of potential for that, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
You bet.
Yep, and it all starts with Saturday. in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, again, we've heard a lot about Saturday. Well, I appreciate you guys taking a little time tonight and kind of sharing with the viewers what it's like from your perspective, kind of how you're looking at the world right now. And so we want to, again, tell everybody, hey, if you want to see some great wrestling, we're hosting John Marshall here Thursday night, and then Saturday down at Albert Lee's. So, again, thanks for watching the Owatonna Wrestling Show, and you can see that on local cable channels 8, Channel 20, Blip.tv on the internet, and OwatonnaWrestling.com. Thanks.